And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Great Lakes Honda City, coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. We appreciate your patience this morning as we await Daryl Gill Jr. trying to get that set up here. So we appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And like I said, the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service. All you have to do Monday through Saturday is head on over there. You can also go 24/7 to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That's GreatLakesHondaCity.com. So make sure that you do that as well, and you can get a sneak peek of all their inventory. We are up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT. So however you're connected with us, we thank you so much for being with us there, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you for being with us Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern time. Always have a great time here on the show with each and every single one of you. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful start to your new year, and whatever's going on in life right now, I hope that that all is well for you here, and cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show and for being here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. So as we are here on the broadcast this morning, hanging out here inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we are hoping to have Daryl Gill Jr. We know that scheduling gets a little bit crazy and there's a bunch of different things that can be going on at any given time. So we hope we'll be able to get him in. We had him slotted for this morning, but we do know coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we will be here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, featuring the Bearcat Breakroom with our student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni coming to us from Binghamton University in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University. So excited to have another episode of the Bearcat Breakroom coming up. Today we have Meghan Casey. I'm very excited to have Meghan join us on the broadcast. Meghan will be telling her story of her journey, of how she got to Binghamton, why Binghamton, coming from White Plains, New York, and we'll get into, just who she is, how she connected to basketball, why she loves the sport that she loves, and so much more coming up here where sports meets life. So very excited for the opportunity to speak with Meghan here in just a little bit on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So very much looking forward to that moment and that opportunity, and we appreciate her so very much for being a part of the show. So a lot of great stuff coming up, and then we'll round out today's show with the ingredients to success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's. Make sure you make it out to Avicolli's today. Let them know that DT sent you their way. You can go there for lunch, dinner, and drinks. Of course, only drink if you're of age and drink responsibly at all times. You can go out to Avicolli's for lunch, dinner, and drinks 7 days a week on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, and you can call them for takeout, delivery, and catering at 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. So make sure you get in touch with them today. So, like I said, currently in the NCAA transfer portal is Daryl Gill Jr., and we're looking to have him on the broadcast. We had him slated to come on this morning, so we're hoping that that'll happen here. And of course, we also are in full coverage of the college football playoff. And so those of you that have followed my work on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT have seen the fact that I've been on the road covering the college football playoff, and we've had the opportunity to bring Wake Up Call to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic down in Arlington, Texas, between Miami and Ohio State, and then less than 12 hours later to bring Wake Up Call to Miami, Florida for the Capital One Orange Bowl between Oregon and Texas Tech. And then we'll be heading later on this week to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl down in Atlanta, Georgia, once again. And that will be a rematch between Oregon and Indiana. So very excited for the opportunity to bring that to you, and very much looking forward to it. Of course, the other matchup inside of the semifinals of this season's college football playoff for 2025-26 features the matchup between the Miami Hurricanes and the Ole Miss Rebels, and I could not be happier for Ole Miss and what they've been doing this season, how they've responded to the fact that their head coach left during the season. And how did they respond? They responded tremendously, in my opinion. They have done nothing but go out there and take care of business, take care of what they need to take care of, and win the games that are in front of them. They haven't looked like they've been without their coach. They haven't looked like they went through any coaching change. They have been fantastic with all of this, and I give them all the credit in the world. I think that Ole Miss has been a tremendous story of the resolve of these student athletes, and just how this team has come together, how they've responded has been awesome. It's heartwarming. It makes you feel good to know that they are where they are right now, that they made it through this. That was my one concern when I looked at this college football playoff, is that we were in this situation where here's a team that, has had themselves a great season, arguably their best season yet, and are they going to be affected by the fact that they don't have their coach? And is this going to be something that tears them down? And it's something I didn't want to see happen. I didn't want to see this team have to go through any of that by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm happy with how they've responded, because they have done such a tremendous job, and it's been great. It's been great to watch Ole Miss, and the only thing that's a shame right now is that the Ole Miss Rebels are playing the Miami Hurricanes. And why do I say that that's a shame? Because both of these teams are teams that people probably did not have here. I had Miami here, but I'm sure a lot of people did not have Miami going up against reigning national champion Ohio State. And there's a good chance that they didn't have Ole Miss. And so to see these two teams going up against each other for the right that one of them is going to be playing for a national championship is really, really amazing. I mean, we know we're definitely going to get a school from the Big Ten because Oregon's playing Indiana. And we know that we're going to get a team that maybe people didn't expect between Miami and Ole Miss because they're playing each other. So we're living in a world now where this is going to be a really, really cool college football playoff national championship. By the grace of God, and thanks to the college football playoff committee and everybody there and everyone in the bowl system, and just want to say thank you once again, because I will be at the national championship once again. So I'm very, very excited and very much looking forward to that opportunity and that moment. And so I can't wait for that. I do want to give a little update on Black Monday and what happened on Black Monday. It's an unfortunate day, and again, it's something that people talk about, right? So they get excited about it, and it's Black Monday and da 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 da, and then sometimes you forget that this has to do with human beings, and these are people's lives, and they're trying to figure things out. We're watching people get fired in real time, and what other job is this something that we see that's normal, right? That we have like a ticker, and there's constant updates and multiple websites tracking who's been fired. And so, we did have some firings of coaches during the season, and as we look at this right now, there's a bunch of coaches that have been let go. As of right now, Jonathan Gannon of the Arizona Cardinals, 3 seasons, 15-36. Before him, Cliff Kingsbury for a short amount of time. So Arizona hasn't really held on to a coach for a long period. But speaking of not holding on to a coach for a long time, the Pete Carroll project in Las Vegas is over already. One season, 3-14. Goodbye, Pete Carroll. And so, I mean, that was very short-lived for the Super Bowl champion coach. And then we have Kevin Stefanski with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns, 6 seasons with him, 46-58. They did make the playoffs with him. And Raheem Morris of the Atlanta Falcons, 2 seasons just shy of being 500 at 16-18. So we know that earlier on in the season, Brian Daboll of the New York Giants was let go. His record 21-41-1 in 3 full seasons plus 10 games. And then Brian Callahan, who they hired after letting go of Mike Vrabel, which I thought was a giant mistake, and it seems like it definitely has been. Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans was with them for 1 full season and 6 games. So you fire Mike Vrabel, who has you in a place where you could be a playoff team. He now has one of the best teams in the entire AFC that the Titans are in. And the guy that you hire after you fire Mike Vrabel, you don't even keep 2 years. They kept him 1 season plus 6 games, and he went 4-19. So that's where we're at. They say that John Harbaugh is on the hot seat in some of the stuff I've been seeing. I mean, he's 193-124, including the playoffs. He spent almost 20 years with Baltimore. Todd Bowles with Tampa, they want to say that he's on the hot seat. He's 36-36 in his 4th season. They've made the playoffs. The one that's kind of confusing here, and this is what's crazy. So you look at Todd Bowles, and they've made the playoffs in Tampa. But he's 36-36. Mike McDaniel, you would think, okay, if Todd Bowles is a playoff coach and Tampa Bay in recent history has made it to the playoffs with multiple different quarterbacks, then they got to have a better record than Mike McDaniel, right? Only by a hair. So Todd Bowles is 36-36. Mike McDaniel in Miami in 4 seasons is 35-35. And he's made the playoffs too. So, we'll see. I mean, the Mike McDaniel situation is something that is surprising because he's a name that comes up, and Miami obviously has not done that well. They haven't been a factor, really, in the grand scheme of the AFC East or the AFC in general, for that matter. And so, I think Mike McDaniel's name is probably one that's sticking with people. We do know that the Cowboys have fired defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, so he is no longer with the team. So not just head coaches being let go. And we also know that the Atlanta Falcons are making some changes to their front office. They've gotten rid of their GM. So that's going on as well. The Giants have retained their general manager, Joe Schoen. The Bengals kept Zach Taylor. So, am I surprised by the Cardinals' firing of their head coach? No. Am I surprised that the Raiders were on? I'm surprised that the Raiders only did this for a year. I mean, I think that's probably my biggest surprise, is that the Raiders only tested this thing out with Pete Carroll for a season. That, to me, is very surprising that they would do something as such. So, I mean, you would think that if you would think that if they're going to bring in Pete Carroll and give him an opportunity here, you would think that he would have some time. But, I mean, again, the Geno Smith project with him in Seattle worked. It didn't work in Vegas. I mean, they have Brock Bowers, the offensive line. I mean, there's a lot of issues in Vegas, and I don't think, the top overall pick is going to heal that. I don't think one pick is going to heal that. But if we look at the NFL draft order that we have right now, I mean, this is how it shakes out. The Raiders do have 1. The Jets have 2. The Cardinals have 3. The Titans have 4. The Giants, who could have had number 1, fell all the way to 5. Then we have the Browns at 6. We have the Commanders at 7. The Saints at 8. The Chiefs, believe it or not, at 9. and the Bengals at 10. Just outside of that, we have the Dolphins at pick 11. So I'm looking at some names that are on here, and these are names of guys that I'm covering in the college football playoff, guys that I've interviewed. So this will be interesting to see where some of these guys like a Caleb Downs or a Reuben Bain or Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate, and so on and so forth, where they end up. Of course, Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. So, I mean, are the Jets going to take a quarterback? You would imagine that the Raiders are going to take a quarterback. I mean, the Raiders tested things out with Geno Smith this year, and that didn't seem to work out. And after testing things out with Geno Smith this season, we saw that there was Aiden O'Connell got some time. We've seen in recent history Gardner Minshew out there. And, the Raiders are, they just seem like an area of problems. I can't sit here and tell you, like, I feel good about their tight end. I'd like to say I feel good about Ashton Genty as well. But outside of that, do I feel good about offensive and defensive line? Do I feel good about their defense overall? Do I feel good about, their receiving core now that they don't have Jacoby Myers, who's obviously going to the playoffs with the Jacksonville Jaguars? I think there's so many problems in Las Vegas right now that it's really hard to sit here and say, okay, so you get Dante Moore or you get Fernando Mendoza. Who's going to block for him? And it looks like there's been a scheduling conflict with Daryl Gill. And, hey, that's the breaks of having a live show. Sometimes, those that say they're going to be here don't always end up being here. So hopefully we can get them on at another time. I'm a man of my word. So we had word from Daryl Gill that he was good and ready to go this morning, and that did not follow through. So unfortunately, but we have to move on, right? The show must go on, as we say. So, it gives us opportunity to talk about Black Monday and what's been happening in the world of the NFL. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to really break it down. And we're going to put some polls up here. I do want to put this up. So are you surprised? This is one that we're going to put up here. Are you surprised that the Miami Dolphins and head coach Mike McDaniel remain together? We're going to put that up here this morning to just get your thoughts, get your overall feel of this. Are you surprised that, of the names that we're talking about here this morning, that it's not Mike McDaniel's name that we're hearing? I was just down in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium at the home of the Miami Dolphins. And so, thinking about Miami and thinking about Mike McDaniel and the situation there. And like I said, never wish bad on anybody at all by any stretch of the imagination. Just wondering what people are thinking, Miami Dolphin fans are thinking. Are you surprised that we still see them together here, that we're still seeing the Miami Dolphins with their head coach, Mike McDaniel? Would love to get your thoughts on it. Love to get your take on, where things stand right now with this team, and would love to know if you are surprised that this is still a marriage for now between the two. He has a record of 35-35, and obviously, like I said, Miami's been a non-factor in the grand scheme of the AFC East and the overall AFC as a whole. So are you surprised in that? Going back to the Raiders here for a second, again, if they go and they draft a quarterback, that's all well and good. But the question becomes, what are they going to do? And how are they going to protect this quarterback? How are they going to move the ball forward? For how many years have we seen this with the Giants? Look at Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones healthy. Look at how good the Colts were. First season there. And he spent multiple seasons with the Giants, and people wanted to throw him in the garbage. You ask yourself the question too with Arizona, what they're going to do at their quarterback position. Are they going to move on from Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray, unfortunately, has not remained consistently healthy over time. We look at his career in the NFL that started back in 2019. He played in 16 games, then 16, then 14, then 11, then 8, then 17. Only played in 5 games this year. So you look at the last 5 seasons, and he played a full regular season 1 time in the last 5 seasons. In 2 of the last 3 seasons, he played in 13 games combined. You look at 2024-25, he played in 17 regular season games, which is the entire regular season. In 2023, he played in 8. This season, he played in 5. So if you add up 2023 and 2025 seasons, that's still combined 4 less games than a full regular season, which he played in 2024 in between. So the question becomes, if he's not available, and when he is available, this team is wildly inconsistent. So you got Kyler Murray out on the field, and your receivers aren't getting the ball consistently. Things aren't moving consistently in the right direction. He gets injured. The team's not moving consistently. So it becomes, do we want to keep doing this, right? Do we want to keep moving with Kyler Murray, knowing that when he's healthy, we're not consistent, and when he's not healthy, we could be even worse? And if we have flashes and moments of goodness with Jacoby Brissett and whatnot, those flashes aren't good enough. Those flashes are not getting us to the playoffs. So that Arizona situation is one that I would circle too, to say, are they going to go and get a quarterback? And not necessarily in the draft. Are they going to go get a quarterback in free agency? You figure that the Raiders and the Jets are going to go after the Fernando Mendozas and Dante Moores of the world, which is ironic because I will be with both of those quarterbacks this week in Atlanta, Georgia, when they face off against each other for round 2. Keep in mind that Indiana won on the road at Oregon earlier this season, 30-20, giving Oregon their first loss of the season. And I think it was their first and only loss of the season for the Oregon Ducks. So, that rematch is going to be great, but people are going to be paying attention to it in the NFL as well because of the potential of, this isn't just who's going to make it to the national championship game. This is who could be the number 1 overall pick, which, that's going to make the game even deeper, right? Because you have these 2 teams going up against each other. They're both conference foes. They're standing in each other's way. Yeah, that's their only loss. They're standing in each other's way of making it to a national championship game. And if Fernando outperforms Dante, Fernando might be the number 1 pick. Or if Dante outperforms Fernando, Dante might be the number 1 pick. So you're looking at a national championship berth on the line. You're looking for, you have the Big Ten versus the Big Ten. So you have within your conference bragging rights, you have one team trying to go undefeated against you, which is Indiana. You have Oregon trying to even the score. You're trying to both make a national championship game, and your quarterbacks are both in position of how they play against each other. This could be the film that people go back to, and it could be the difference by a hair of drafting Mendoza over Moore or Moore over Mendoza. So this game has multiple layers to it, and I'm very excited that by the grace of God, I have the blessing that I will be down there. By the way, keep in mind, Oregon started off their season with a 59-13 victory over the team that just won the FCS National Championship, Montana State. So they beat a national champion inside of the FCS. Just want to make a note of that because when they played Montana State at the beginning of the season, people were probably not thinking much of anything of that matchup. And, now we fast forward to an amazing overtime walk-off extra point that won the game for Montana State over Illinois State 35-34. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll continue to take a look at the NFL and where things are at currently and potentially where they could go. Stay with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. We want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. You can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's gonna sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing. And you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Caz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. And you could go and see them for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And of course, it's the only place that I've trusted to get my vehicle for over a decade. And you knew them as Honda City of Liverpool. They're now Great Lakes Honda City. And you can get a sneak peek of all their inventory of new and used vehicles at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Remember, you can buy and lease at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That'll get you the information. Shout out to Elijah, Mark, as well as everybody that is on this team. I cannot say enough about the wonderful people that I have met at Great Lakes Honda City. So I appreciate y'all, and just really thank you for your service to this community, how much you care about this community, and just what it's meant to you to be a part of it. So it means a lot to me to know the work that's been put in at Great Lakes Honda City, and I can't say enough about it. So shout out to each and every single one of you. With that being said, here on the broadcast inside of these Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In about 10 minutes time, we'll have an all-new Bearcat Breakroom featuring Binghamton University in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership, which I'm looking forward to bringing you an all-new episode of the Bearcat Breakroom featuring Meghan Casey, who will be joining me coming off of a career day for herself collegiately with 23 points and a win over NJIT. So very excited for Meghan and to have her here on the broadcast from Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball in just a little bit, and the ingredients to success to round out the show, proudly presented by Avicolli. So let's jump back in, to this coaching carousel. So the current openings right now for head coach, the Tennessee Titans, the New York Giants, the Atlanta Falcons, the Cleveland Browns, the Las Vegas Raiders, and shout out to the Boom, the Arizona Cardinals, and the general manager vacancies, the Dolphins and the Falcons. So how about that? The Dolphins are looking for a new GM, but as of right now have kept their coach. So still have their head coach, but looking for a new general manager. So, am I surprised at any of these? No. I would tell you the Buffalo Bills, they're in the postseason right now. And I think how things go with Sean McDermott, and again, I'm never going to wish bad on anybody, so that's not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to put bad juju out there by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just talking about scenarios and situations. Buffalo with Sean McDermott and all the talent that's been there, they got to win, right? And they have Jacksonville in the wild card round. There's a good chance that the Buffalo Bills are out in the wild card. And so the Sean McDermott conversation is going to come up inevitably. Now, Aaron Glenn's in his first year with the New York Jets. They cleaned house, so they might obviously let him go through this cycle, right? Let him draft some players, let him build a team and see what he can do with it. Before they make any decision on him. Baltimore is kind of confusing to me. It's like Baltimore didn't make the playoffs. They missed a field goal, right? They had to deal with having a season that didn't have Lamar Jackson completely healthy at times. So, but they were right there with Pittsburgh. So, I mean, I don't get the John Harbaugh getting rid of him. I don't understand the logic of that. The Colts, no. Obviously, the AFC, the Texans, and the Jaguars, no. And, Kansas City, they had a rough year this year. And the Raider thing, that does kind of surprise me. I mean, to sit here and to discuss the Pete Carroll situation, it is kind of surprising. Like you're going to bring in this guy who's in his 70s. He's been coaching a long time. You're going to give him an opportunity, and then you're going to let him go. Right? It's not your offensive or defensive line woes. It's not the fact that you can't... how is Pete Carroll the fall guy for the Raiders who haven't been good in a long time? So that's where my confusion comes in. And then, the Dallas Cowboys, they underperformed again, but Jerry Jones has to be open-minded, and he has to listen to other people. And it doesn't mean he has to take what they say or, every time and whatnot. But, Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones's biggest adversary. That's what it seems like. Because you had Jimmy Johnson. That was a messy divorce. You could have kept winning Super Bowls. And, then he brings in... I feel like he brings in... And I don't mean this with any disrespect to the coaches that have been there in recent history. I feel like he brings in puppets. I feel like he brings in people that... And I could be wrong. Maybe these people stick up for themselves... But it just doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like they make good decisions. Like, Dallas could have made a decision to have the coach they have right now. They could have made this decision a while ago, right? And, like, to get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, and then when they brought him back last year, like, it just seems like the Cowboys don't have ideas. So they just... You sit here and you scratch your head like, well, you could have done that. You could have signed him. You could have hired him. You could have made this decision months ago. He was on staff. Why did you get rid of this guy to bring him back? I mean, it seems like they don't have new ideas. And it seems like it takes Dallas forever to make decisions that they could have just made without all the hoopla and all the stuff in between. Dallas seems like a franchise where they take a lot of time to make an underwhelming decision or a decision that doesn't feel a lot different. And here they are again, not in the playoffs. So Dallas is really going to have to figure this out. But Jerry Jones, he needs to be open-minded. Washington, I don't fault them. They dealt with injuries to Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin this year. Detroit... I don't think you do anything with Dan Campbell, but this they plummeted this season, and it was really sad. This was probably the saddest fall. To be honest, when you look at all the teams that were out there and the expectations and the hopes, the saddest fall, in my opinion, probably has to be Detroit not making the postseason. But I don't think you move from Dan Campbell. Green Bay, I think Green Bay keeps moving. Obviously, they're in the playoffs. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy wasn't healthy all last year and part of this year. And they have other problems they need to take care of too. So, and I think one of the things is their running game. So Minnesota's in a place where I don't know if you get rid of your coach just yet. Carolina has had a complete turnaround. New Orleans is just so confusing. New Orleans is literally a team that was confusing going into the season, confusing coming out, but Tyler Shuck did win a string of games together, so do give him credit for that. I don't know if Todd Bowles in Tampa, I don't know if that's the right move to move off of Todd Bowles. I don't know if... I don't really think that Tampa had a bad year. They struggled at times, but I don't... They also had a receiving core that very few times this season did it feel like we had Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, and Chris Godwin consistently through. Arizona, I get it, because Arizona's they're just a giant fire. And then Los Angeles with the Rams are in the playoffs, the Niners are in the playoffs, Seahawks are in the playoffs. So, I can't say I'm all too surprised at the teams that have decided to look for new leadership, but I can say that the Las Vegas Raiders probably make me scratch my head the most because they brought in Pete Carroll, and again, it was like that felt like a giant waste of time to bring him in and then fire him. And if I'm Pete Carroll, I'm sitting here going like, y'all have so many problems here in Vegas, and you want it to be me. You think another coach is going to come in here? I mean, if they don't find an offensive line to protect the rookie quarterback that they draft and to actually help Ashton Genty run the ball, they're not going anywhere. What, are you going to fire the next coach? So, Cleveland's got to figure it out. Cleveland and Arizona, these are two teams that have talent. They have a bunch of talent. Cleveland has had over these last few seasons a ton of talent. You have Harold Fandon Jr. now. Like, you have Quinshon Judkins. You have Jerry Jeudy. You have the talent. Arizona, this is why I didn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to go to Arizona. I didn't want a receiver that I thought could be one of the best young receivers in the NFL go to a team that couldn't consistently get him the ball. And that's what we've seen. So, I mean, these two teams have to figure it out because, yes, Arizona has gone through recent history, including this year, a bunch of injuries to their running back core. Like, to the point where who's going to run the ball? And Kyler Murray hasn't stayed healthy. Cleveland hasn't had one quarterback for the entire season in how many years? So, but Cleveland's made the postseason in the last 3 seasons. Arizona, they don't go anywhere. And to show you where Dallas is at and where Jerry Jones, where this franchise is at, they lost to Arizona this year. At home, in their stadium, at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, they lost to the Arizona Cardinals by double digits, I believe. So, Arizona and Cleveland got to figure it out because you don't want to be known as this franchise that no matter what talent comes in, you just can't seem to get it together. You can't seem to figure it out. So now you're both looking for a head coach, and that's all well and good, but there's a cultural issue. There's environmental issues with teams that have different coaches and different players and it doesn't work, and different coaches and different players and it doesn't work, and different coaches and different players and it doesn't work. They're missing something. There's some type of belief that's not there. There's the connective tissue is not there in Arizona and it's not there in Cleveland, and they have to figure out what that is. They have to figure that out. In Las Vegas, the Raiders, they're in a position of becoming the same type of team with no connective tissue. And so you can keep bringing in your coaches and players like underpants, and it's not going to work out. I mean, look at what Carolina has done. Carolina was changing coaches and starting quarterbacks like underwear, and it didn't work. And then all of a sudden, here it is. It's working. Bryce Young, he's gotten better. The team's gotten better. The team's moving the ball. They haven't necessarily done anything crazy, but they're a better team now, right? Because you found connective tissue. You found a message that works. You found a coach that gets through. You found leadership that's good. And it's not just the head coach. It goes to the support staff. And what are those coaches doing? And how are they getting the message across? Like, Carolina is in a different culture and different environment than they've been in. If you don't believe me, why are they in the playoffs? Arizona has been stuck. Cleveland's been stuck. The Raiders are in a place where they're dangerously getting close to being stuck. The Giants are in a place of being stuck. So it's not just about finding the right head coach. It's about that head coach having a message that can get through, leadership style that works, understanding you can't talk to everybody or address everybody the same way, especially not on a roster that has 50 plus people on it. You have to hire the right people. You have to have a message that is concise and clear and consistent. You have to know what your problems are, and you can't hit the roots. You can't hit the branches. You have to go to the trunk. That's a problem with a lot of people and a lot of people that take leadership roles, is they cut off a couple branches and they think they're doing a good job. But until you cut down the tree, until you uproot that tree and just take that trunk right out of the ground, you're not going to stop anything because more branches will grow. You have to go to the root of the problem. And they're going to have to figure that out. But I think Carolina has obviously swung in the right direction. the Browns and the Cardinals and the Giants, blah. And, the Falcons have been stuck in this. They have, again, tremendous offensive players and the ability to score, but they're wildly inconsistent. And they just keep moving through coaches, and it's not working. So now they're looking for a new GM. But, you have to address these things. And the thing is, the Cowboys have to address these things too. They won't, because Jerry Jones is his boss, and how many times over? So they're locked into this. Jerry Jones has to get out of Jerry Jones's way. And I don't know how he can look at the 90s to now and look at 30 years, 3 decades, and think, I'm just going to keep doing it the same way. I'm just going to keep doing whatever I want, whether it makes sense or not. Like, you have to have a room full of people. Like, there's no point in having a head coach. There's no point in having a GM. There's no point in having a director of player personnel. There is no point in having leadership to run this team if you as the owner do not allow the leadership to run the team. Like, yes, you are the overall end-all, be-all. You have the final say. But your culture isn't good. You can't keep resting on the laurels that you used to win Super Bowls 3 decades ago. It's not relevant anymore. You have to be able to adjust. How are the Falcons any different than the Cowboys? Bunch of good offensive talent, can't get to the playoffs, cannot be consistent. The difference is the Falcons are changing their front office. The Falcons are looking for new leadership. What are the Cowboys going to do? It's a question. Let's take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Meghan Casey will join us here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
Avicolli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicolli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on into the neighborhood spot Avicolli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We are here for another edition of the Bearcat Breakroom, and I'm always excited to have our Bearcats here on the show where sports truly meets that thing called life. I am picture in picture with Meghan Casey of the Binghamton women's basketball program, a student athlete inside the 2025-26 season, and inside our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University for this Bearcat Breakroom. Meghan, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. Now, I said it earlier on in the show, but I'm going to say it with you on the air because I want to see your reaction to this. 23 points against NJIT in a victory, a new single-game career high for you. Buckets out there doing your thing. Bring me into the NJIT game, and congratulations on a new career high.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it was just overall, it was a really exciting game. As if you were watching, we were down mostly the whole time, and I just kind of knew we needed some kind of spark out there. So in the third quarter, a big play happened, and after that, everyone was just kind of together. The energy was up, and from there, we were unstoppable.
You said in the third quarter a big play happened. What was that big play that you felt like was the turning point?
I hit a three, and I got an and one on it, and it was the corner right in front of our bench. So right when it happened, I fell, and everyone was all together just screaming.
Did you secure the 4-point play?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that is, can you come an hour north to the Dome and teach the Syracuse men's basketball team how to shoot free throws?
Maybe I can. I mean, our whole team is shooting really well on free throw percentages, so.
Yeah, so Meghan, I mean, for you, and having a 4-point play, that's got to be awesome. It's amazing. I mean, I grew up playing basketball my whole life, got recruited D3, and I was the 3-point shooter. So to me, you know, having a 4-point play is a shooter's dream. Have you had many of those in your history? Was that the first one collegiately? What can you tell us about that?
That was the first, yeah, that was the first, I didn't even think about that. That was the first one at the college level I've ever had. I've had a couple in high school, but not that many.
So when did you know that you could attack from the outside? You know, in today's game, no matter what position, everybody wants to shoot, right? Everybody wants to shoot the deep shot. But when did you really feel like, hey, I have a knack for this. This could be a big part of my game?
hmm I mean, after the first quarter, I kind of felt like, because we were a little startled at first, obviously, it was our first conference game. And then after that, coach was just like, brought us in a huddle and was like, we got to attack. Like, we can all attack. We do it all the time in practice. And from there on, we just started attacking more aggressively. And definitely in the second half, we kind of just wanted it. And I knew that there were openings that I had to take.
Here with Meghan Casey in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom from the Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball program. You talked about getting this victory, coming back, being down the majority of the game, and then defeating NJIT on the road in Newark, New Jersey, 75-71. Before that happened, before you started America East play, this is what it looked like out of conference. You faced off against SUNY Geneseo and Bloomsburg University. I was down in Binghamton and had the opportunity to be around the team as you started out 2-0. And then you went and you faced off against St. Bonaventure also at home and lost that game by just 3 points. Then you went to the University of Michigan, ranked 6th in the nation at the time, on the road for that game. That was your first road test of the season. Then you went to the University of Akron, won that game 95-94 in double overtime. Then went to Columbia in New York City, lost that game 73-60. Then went to the University of San Diego, won that game on the road in San Diego, California, before coming home and getting a victory over University at Buffalo, Marist University, and then going up an hour to Syracuse, losing to Syracuse, coming back home and defeating Colgate before the FDU Christmas Classic, where you defeated FDU and lost to the University of Penn. So that's what the non-conference play looks like. You have those first 3 games at home. I want to talk about the road test that you had. Those 4 games you had on the road at Michigan, at Akron, at Columbia, at the University of San Diego. You come home from that road test winning 50% of those games. What did that tell you about this team, the double overtime win over Akron, and the fact that you won 2 of 4 away from home?
I mean, yeah, I think we had a perfect non-schedule setup just because we needed to play Michigan. We needed to have a game like that, and then to come back and play Akron like that. That just kind of brought energy to our team, and it taught us to never ever stop until the end of the game. Always play 40 minutes. Our coach always says it. But those are just kind of great tests for us because everyone always knows it's way harder to play on the road than at home. And I really think even playing NJIT, I think those non-conference games were lessons, and then we perfected it when we went away to NJIT.
Yeah, and when you look back at the games against Michigan, Akron, and Columbia, those were 3 road games in 3 different places in less than a week. You had to go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, Akron, Ohio, and New York City, New York. So bring me into that. The fact that your team was on the road and within less than 7 days had to be in 3 different states playing 3 different teams.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a great experience because obviously we went to Michigan and that was just cool and a fun experience. And then after that loss, we were disappointed because our team knows who we are, our coach knows who we are. So we came back Akron, and then obviously that double overtime win really gave us the boost we needed. And then ending off in Columbia, they're a great Ivy League school team. And, it was a close one there. And we also got to go to New York City, which, I mean, the freshmen were really excited. We have
Yeah.
someone from Australia, Canada, who haven't necessarily been there. So that was also just a great experience.
And then you have a little bit of time between November 24th and December 3rd that you go out to the West Coast. Bring me into that, the fact that you got to go all the way out to San Diego, and not only go out to San Diego and be in California, but to get a victory in early December on the West Coast, just what that does for Binghamton University.
Yeah, just again, I mean, it's another really cool, great experience that we'll never really have again in our lifetime. And I think a road win like that, especially because we were flying, I think it's just going to prepare us for the future, which is conference, which is the most important. And just kind of flying out, we flew out a day before, went to the gym that night, and then played that next morning because it was also their kids' game. Just getting that experience was amazing and is going to prepare us for these next steps.
And we talk about not letting a loss beat you twice, and that bounce back double overtime victory at Akron after losing on the road at Michigan. Then from there, we saw this team win 4 of 5 games, including 3 in a row. When we talk about at San Diego and then Buffalo, Marist, the loss at Syracuse, and then to come home and get a victory against Colgate. Bring me into that string of games. We've been talking about what you learned from the road, what you took away from it. To win 4 of 5 before the FDU Christmas Classic, what did that show you about how this team can respond to adversity?
Yeah, well, since the summer, our coaching staff has inputted like we do not take losses lightly. We are not a losing team. We don't want to be a losing team. So we make sure after a loss, we get in, we watch film, we get in the gym, and we know our next game coming out, all of us together, like our foot is on the gas, like there is no stop, like we need this win. And I think it just kind of shows like the resilience of our team. Even there's a lot of times you can see like we are down, but the fight and never giving up and staying the 40 minutes, I mean, that helps our team tremendously. And we know all of us are going to come in and put up a fight to win.
Yeah, and this team has responded greatly. I mean, at the time that we're talking right now, you have a 9-5 record, like we just spoke about a few minutes back. You've started conference play in the America East. Of your experience in the America East, how would you describe this conference, how it challenges you? Now that you're through non-conference play, what can you say about what the America East means to you and the level of competition that you endure each season?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the America East for 4 years, and every single year it's extremely competitive. And you can even see everyone's non-conference records are pretty good for mid D1, and they kind of just prepare us to be great even outside of basketball. Like there's many things we do outside that help us in the community. And yeah, I mean there's great competition playing these teams all these years, Vermont, Albany, Maine, Bryant, like all these teams are just it's just great competition.
Yeah, and this non-conference schedule, to go back to that for a second, for you, for Binghamton, looking back on it in its entirety, what can you say about Mary Grimes and her staff, the schedule that was put together, how this schedule is going to prepare you, what you think the positives were of the non-conference play? You came through non-conference with a winning record, which is always a plus, but when you start this new season, so to speak, in conference play, what did this specific non-conference schedule for 2025-26 do for this team?
Yeah, I think Coach Grimes set up our non-conference schedule perfectly because there was no one really we could take lightly, and I think that just prepares you for a conference. Like you don't want to just play easy teams, and even going out to Michigan, going out to Syracuse, flying to California and playing San Diego, all those games are going to teach us lessons. She didn't want to come away with, I mean, an undefeated schedule. She wanted us to take the losses now so that we're prepared for conference and we can go undefeated there and have a lot of success.
What is the best lesson that you learned from non-conference play this year?
Honestly, I think never giving up playing 40 minutes. I know everyone always says that, but it really is true. It really does come down to the fourth quarter and making sure you play all those 40 minutes just because of how many times we've been down or we've had adversity and then we've been able to fight back. It's been greater because it's just brought our team more together and shown we really can do this.
Here with Meghan Casey of the Binghamton Bearcats women's basketball program, here in this edition of the Bearcat Breakroom in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. You talk about going undefeated in the America East. There's 9 schools in the America East for women's basketball, and more than half of them already have a loss in conference. What does that say to you that Binghamton is only one of 14? Now, we're only 1 or 2 games in for teams. So we're a couple games in, maybe 1 game in for some programs. What does it say to you that more than half of the America East has a loss in the conference right now?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely exciting on our side, and that first win was really important to us because how you start is how you want to finish. So just getting that first win under our belt has been great, and just wanting to continue to bounce off that win.
So, Meghan, to go back in time, to Tarantino this whole thing, we talk about the here and now. We talk about where this team is at. But how did you get here? How did basketball become the thing for you? When did you fall, and how did you fall in love with basketball?
I mean, I started basketball back in maybe first grade when I was 5. And my brother and my dad are really big into it. And my dad has coached me, he coached me until the 8th grade, until I was in high school. And that's kind of just always been a big part of my life. I've had so many relationships from there. I've grown so much, not even just as a player, but like off the court. Like you can see it even in academics, in socializing. It's just kind of like we know, like basketball has taught me you need to work hard. Like that's what gets you everywhere. So yeah, back when I was in first grade, honestly, and ever since then, I've just fell in love with it.
I tell people you'll find out very quickly in life with really anything if you love it or if you think you love it, because you will get knocked down. You will have adversity. You'll have tough moments. When did you know I really genuinely love basketball? I don't just think I do. I know that I do. Give me an adversity moment or something that taught you like, yeah, this stinks, but I love this game.
Mhm. I would say I always thought I loved it. Obviously, I was young, but in high school, in my freshman year, I went to Ursuline, and that's just a really good high school program. And I was always so used to playing, but my freshman year, I didn't play. I sat the bench on varsity, and after that, I faced it. and it was hard, but then my sophomore year I came out, I started and I had a great year. So that's kind of when I knew because I hit rock bottom with basketball, and instead of just deciding, oh, maybe it's not my thing, I decided to work even harder and try to get a spot that next year.
What got you through it when, sometimes adversity strikes and people just walk away? What kept you saying like, okay, you know what? This is a tough school, this is a tough program. I can either walk away from this and say whatever, I don't care, or I could just work my tail off like you said to make sure you make that roster, make sure you get on that team. At that crossroad, why did you stay with it?
Honestly, my family played a huge role because they have always believed that no matter what, I was the best player they've ever seen, especially my dad. I remember there was a time like I came home from practice and I was just so upset because I've never really faced adversity like that in the sport. And he was still my number one fan, believed in me so much, and it kind of gave me belief. And just my mom and dad being there every step of the way, my siblings still making sure to come to every game, even when I wasn't playing. That's kind of when I knew I could do this with their support.
So you're here now. You chose Binghamton. You obviously, like you said, you've been at Binghamton for this is your fourth season.
Mhm.
So you came in before Mary Grimes with Beth Ann Shapiro Ord. Why did you say yes to Binghamton?
Immediately when I walked into the campus, it was just so welcoming. Even the event center, athletic center, right when I walked in, every coaching staff was saying hi, making sure to introduce themselves. Everyone had a smile on their face. I got to watch a practice as well, and honestly, it just looked amazing and happy. And obviously, as well, the academics here are really good because I know after basketball, I have a whole life of that. So the academics as well on that side really brought me here.
You said when you came in on your visit, it wasn't just the women's basketball staff. You said like everybody on staff, everybody saying hi. I mean, how did you experience that and what that meant to you to walk in and think like, okay, well, I'm a basketball recruit. So, I'm sure the basketball coaches will be here to say hi and hello. But when you saw, a cross country coach or a volleyball coach or a baseball coach, like, hey, Megan, how are you? Great to see you. Happy to have you on campus. Like, how was that experience to see that it was truly an entire athletic department and not just an individual program?
Yeah, I mean, I immediately knew like this was the place I wanted to be. I wanted a place that was going to be a home away from home. And just feeling that, like those coaches, I felt wanted. I felt like this was my family away from home. And that's what really struck out to me.
So the coaching change happens. You
Mhm.
could just do what so many do these days, which is jump in the portal and run. Why didn't you run away?
I mean, I've always loved Binghamton. I always had a positive experience with it. And right after that coaching switch happened, we got to have a meeting with Coach Grimes in our locker room. And we got to, she allowed us to ask any questions. And hearing what she had to say and what she believed she could make this program, I immediately wanted to step on board. And I knew that I wanted to continue this and I didn't want to go into the portal. And right away, I felt that trust from her, and I could see that she wanted great things to happen in a championship, and that's what I've always wanted coming into Division One basketball. So I knew right away that I wanted to stay.
You said that Coach Grimes said, ask me anything. Like it's a wide open opportunity. What did you ask?
Well, a big thing we asked about conditioning test. I remember that. That was funny, and she was like, "We have the mile test," but we kind of just asked where she saw this program, where she saw it leading, how she was going to coach if she was going to accept players who obviously weren't her recruits because that's a big thing. Some coaches just kind of dismiss players who aren't their recruits. So that was a big question. And she was like, no, I'm gonna play who I see deserves to play.
Yeah.
Anyone on this team deserves to be here, and I'm gonna treat them with the utmost respect and the player they are. So
So hindsight 2020, she said, I will accept everybody here, whether I recruited you or I didn't, I will accept you into my program and everyone will have an opportunity to show me what they can do. Hindsight 2020, do you feel accepted? Do you feel like she lived up to her word of what she said when she came in?
I mean, 100%. You can even see the players who weren't her recruits are having huge numbers now because she accepted us and she worked with us and she believes in us. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I love seeing the success of this women's basketball program and, you know, taking it to new heights, so to speak. So, Meghan, before we jump into rapid fire and put each other on the hot seat and have some fun with that, I do want to take a look even deeper on the student side for you. And like you said, there's life after basketball. So we know that Binghamton University is one of the top 10 national public Ivy League schools. It is no joke, the education that is there at Binghamton for the taking and what's asked of you at Binghamton University. It's not easy being a student athlete. It's definitely harder to be a student athlete at a school that really does care about education. So what are you studying and what are you hoping to do after basketball?
Yeah, right now I'm in the School of Management and I'm graduating with a business degree. And after life of basketball, I'm hoping to move to New York City and pursue something in the business field. Right now, I'm just kind of networking and looking for internships to kind of get like an on-site feel of things. So yeah, pretty exciting.
So you're looking at management, like you said, and working in the business world. Is there a genre of business that really has called to you up to this point? Because business is so vast. There's
Mhm.
so many different things that you can do and in different categories. Do you have a place or two that you really feel you have a passion for?
I am interested in pursuing more of finance and the marketing field of things.
Okay.
So just kind of looking in that direction and seeing where that takes me.
I know you're from White Plains. Why do you want to move? Because you said, like, hey, I'm looking at a job in management, but you don't know what specifically yet, but you're networking. But you said New York City. Why New York
Mhm.
City?
I mean, being from White Plains, I've always been just a train ride away, and I've always loved New York City. Always went in with my family and friends, and I just kind of know how many great opportunities are there, and that's where I want to be. I want to be in a fast place setting where I can continue to learn and push myself.
I always say that New York City, for me as an upstate New Yorker, is a beautiful place to visit, but you would not catch me living there. Why
Yeah.
are you like, hey, bring it on. I want to live it. I want to be in the middle of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that so many times, but I'm just so close to home. I want to go back to my family and yeah, it definitely is a great place to visit and I have heard it's hard to live there, but I kind of just want to see where that takes me. There's so many great opportunities and hard workers there, so I just want to see where the next step is.
The question really becomes when you move out of your room on campus at Binghamton, do you have the creativity to get enough stuff into a shoebox that you'll be living in New York City? That's the question.
That's another thing that might be difficult. I really hope so. I might have to still store some things at my home right now, but we'll see. We'll see.
So for you, New York City, and like you said, you've been a train ride away from White Plains this whole time. I talk with student athletes all the time at Binghamton about this because it seems so easy. There's upstate New York versus downstate, and there's New York versus New Jersey. How many of these conversations happen on the women's basketball team of what's the best part of New York and then New York versus New Jersey?
Oh my God, all the time. I mean, we just played 3 games in Jersey, and obviously that it is close to me because it's like on the border. So everyone was like hometown, but I was like, no, I'm not Jersey. But then we have a couple people from Jersey, so yeah, those conversations happen a lot.
So I want you to tell me why New York over New Jersey. Sell me on what you think.
Oh, I mean, it's just New York. It's the place to be. I mean, we have the city right there. But upstate New York, we have Niagara Falls. I feel like we have a lot more than New Jersey personally.
Okay.
But I mean, who am I to say, I guess?
Just before rapid fire, best place to eat in White Plains and why?
Oh my God. I'm gonna have to say Pete's in Bronxville, just because they have really good food and I love going there to eat with my family.
What's the go-to meal?
Just honestly, cheeseburger and fries. I know it's basic, but
Okay.
they really do a great job there.
All right. Cheeseburger and fries. We're going to jump into rapid fire here in this Bearcat break room with Meghan Casey, celebrating Binghamton women's basketball as a whole. And obviously, the story of Meghan Casey here as our featured spotlight inside of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University. Here in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, this is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Meghan, you get the first question. You can ask me any topic, any question. What do you got?
Hmm. What's your favorite song?
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
Oh, man. I love music. I've been singing since I was 3.
Oh,
So,
really? Wow.
yeah. Yeah, my mom got it from my mom, and my mom got it from my grandpa. So, I would say favorite song of all time. That's so tough. Mm, I feel like I want to pick something from Boys to Men because that's what I practiced my voice on. I remember doing that when I was like 7 years old, but I don't know if I can pick one. Probably Thank You by Boys to Men because I actually used it in college for this friendship video that I put together. So I'd probably say it's not as well known. It's from the 5 times platinum album 2 by Boys to Men, and Thank You is the first song on the album and probably all around the world. Those are 2 songs that are on that very well known album, and there's so many songs on that album. Water Runs Dry, on Bended Knee, and so on and so forth. But I would say Thank You and All Around the World. I pretty much memorized those songs. I love them dearly, and they were the ones that like weren't really played that much. So I'd say
Mhm.
those 2. My question back to you, Meghan, if there was a song every time you scored, every time in the event center there's a bucket by Meghan Casey, this song plays. What song is it and why?
Oh God. I don't know. I'm not that big into music. I mean, we have like a team song and it's still Sleepless. I don't even know who it's by, but we had a highlight video on it once, and
Mhm.
ever since then, every time it's come on, like our whole team gets so hyped. So I guess I would have to say that one.
Okay, still Sleepless. What's your next question for me?
Hmm. If there's one thing you want to do in your life, what would it be? Like skydiving, like something crazy like that, if you got the opportunity.
I am big on, I have a strong faith in God. Love, anything about angels. So I would love to do that. I don't know, like it kind of makes you feel like you're flying and you're in control of it. That like gliding thing where you put on the suit and and it's
Oh.
not essentially like cliff jumping or whatever it is, but that thing where you just kind of like jump out and you put your
Mhm.
arms out and you kind of look like a flying squirrel. But like I I would love to feel like I'm physically flying and just have God kind of take me on a journey.
Mhm.
I think that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
My question back to you, Megan. Hmm. I like this one. I've been playing with this a lot recently. If you took over my show tomorrow morning and it's Wake Up Call with Meghan Casey and you could have any 3 guests on, there's nothing holding you back, anybody in the world. I want to know your 3 guests and why.
Wow. My first one, it would have to be Sonia Citron. She's in the WNBA and she was my teammate back in high school.
Oh, okay. That's
And
awesome.
yeah, yeah. So I think that would just honestly be really fun and a good, opportunity. Second, God, I don't know. This is hard. Maybe who's someone?
Anybody in the
Maybe,
world.
yeah, like anybody in the world, like that's broad.
Yeah. Whoever you want. You could pick a teammate. You could pick anybody.
Honestly, I'd want to, another one would be my whole team. Just have my whole team on and
Okay.
ask them questions.
Okay.
And then a third one, maybe like, honestly, like if he was still alive, Kobe Bryant,
Okay.
just because I feel like he has a great mentality and I would be so interested to know more about him and what he thinks.
Yeah. I love that. The Mamba mentality. So
Yeah.
I can go with that. Sonia, that's crazy. That do you keep in touch with her?
Yeah, a little bit. She's Hollywood now. She's busy, but yeah, I always check in on her games and everything.
Yeah, that's got to be so awesome, and it's got to be a reminder to you that you can accomplish anything. Doesn't matter where you come from. That you can do whatever you want if you set your mind and your heart to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what's your last question for me?
Oof. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's good. If I could eat one food for the rest of my life, what would it be? I feel like this answer changes from time to time, but I like every Saturday morning growing up, and my dad still did this Christmas morning. Went over Christmas Eve to my dad's house, slept in my old room, woke up there Christmas morning, and my dad made blueberry pancakes. So I would say probably pancakes because I love doing all different types of things. I've had fruity pebble pancakes, pumpkin pancakes, blueberry chocolate, chocolate chip with blueberry. I love making them at home. So I'm going to say pancakes
Okay.
because I got a little secret ingredient stuff that I do in my pancakes. So I'm going to say pancakes.
No.
My last question for you, Megan. If you traveled the world teaching everyone of all different languages and countries, backgrounds about one topic, what topic do you believe you would be an expert at to teach the world?
Honestly, I think I would do like mentality. Mentality is everything. Because I'm a true believer just being in sports this long, your mindset changes everything. It changes how you play, it changes how you wake up every day, it changes how you talk to people, what you do in life. So I would say mentality, like mindset.
Couldn't say a better thing about that there. And you know what? The world needs it. So maybe we need to get some tour dates together for when you graduate.
Yeah.
Megan Casey, Binghamton women's basketball student athlete inside the 2025-26 season. Make sure you go support Binghamton women's basketball at the Event Center at home. And of course, when they're on the road as well, they are in conference play. They started it off with a 1-0 in the conference in the America East with a 75-71 victory over NJIT on the road. And for this Bearcat Breakroom, Megan, it was a pleasure having you on the broadcast today. Appreciate the positivity and all of the good things you're bringing to this world, and to end it on positive mentality and being in control of your own present and future, no better way to do it. So thank you for the words and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, I'll talk with you soon. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
See you. That coming from Megan Casey one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll bring you the ingredients to success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's, and then we'll wrap things up. Hard to believe we're almost to 11 o'clock here this morning. And make sure you stay close to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as I will be continuing to air throughout this week my conversations with the Oregon Ducks and the Indiana Hoosiers. I've already aired my Q&A with the Indiana Hoosiers head football coach, Curt Cignetti, as well as the Oregon Ducks head football coach, Dan Lanning, speaking with both of them about their team culture in a world of me, how their we is in the cultures of Oregon and Indiana. And I also spoke with both of them about the strength of their offensive lines. We hear about quarterback play all the time, but you can't do anything without a good offensive line. So go and check those out. They're on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT. We'll also be adding them to Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. And of course, they are on youtube.com /wakeupcall_DT. So I thank you all for being with us here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Thanks to Meghan once again. We'll take a step aside and we'll be back right after this where sports meets life. Stay with us.
Come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community community any way we can. And I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Find your way over there today, and every Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, you'll find singles, packs, boxes, graded cards, and more. You'll find all the supplies you need to protect your cards, showcase your cards, travel with them. It is a one-stop shop for kids of all ages. I don't care if you're 9 years old, 20 years old, 40, 87 years old, whatever your age is, there's something about collecting cards. There's something beautiful about this central and upstate New York sports card collecting community. And I cannot say enough about it. Josh Gideon, Anthony Campbell, the entire team at GG Cards and Breaks have made it such a special experience to get back into cards or to get into cards for the first time. So find your way over to GG Cards and Breaks today. Let them know the DT sent you and go open up something that brings you back to being a kid or brings that kid spirit alive for the first time in you. Go have fun. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. Head over to Chick-fil-A DeWitt today on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. They are the newest Chick-fil-A in central and upstate New York. And they are there in the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard waiting for you with their massive, massive building. That giant brick building, you can't miss it. The double drive-through. And, of course, they have the ability to order on the app as well. So get yourself over to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt today to support Meghan Sorber and her team, the incredible work that they're doing. She knows what it's like to go to school and work at Chick-fil-A, and now she's owning and operating a Chick-fil-A with people that she has hired as team members that are going to school in our community and working at Chick-fil-A. So what better leader than a leader that has walked the path that you are currently walking? Head over to Chick-fil-A today and enjoy everything about Chick-fil-A from this wonderful, wonderful location on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, it is time to get into the ingredients to success. God is great, and it is time to talk about today's topic for the ingredients to success for this week, brought to you by Avicolli's. Avicolli's is on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. They are open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. Head yourself over to Avicolli's today. And, of course, for takeout, delivery, and catering, you can call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. If you'd like to order online, you can go to myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. So go and do that. And, of course, we're at Avicollis every single month with Liverpool Athletics. Today's topic for the ingredients to success, proudly presented exclusively by Avicollis, the price of peace. How important is your peace? Well, it's everything. Do you know that? Do you know the value of your own peace? I would venture to tell you that you may not know the value of your own peace until you've had something happen where you felt like you've lost it or you have lost it. It is hard in this world, especially now, to keep that peace. It's hard. There's so many things going on. This world sometimes feels like it's going a mile a minute, 10 miles a minute. It's tough. But you can get through this. You will get through this. You'll be okay. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of focus. Peace is not something that comes easy. But if you work at it, you can have it. And you know the value of it, the price of it, if you've ever lost it. If you ever feel like you've had it taken away from you, if you've let someone or something take it away from you, then you definitely know the value of it. I've been there. I've let things, people take my peace. And I can tell you when those moments happen, there's absolutely nothing you want more in those moments than to have your peace. You should never let anyone or anything take your peace. Peace is precious. It's vital to your health, your well-being. Without peace, it's hard to rest. It's hard to focus. It's hard to feel complete. It's hard to feel safe. Peace brings so much into our lives. And without it, it feels like no matter what we have, something is missing. So what is the price? Priceless. Peace is priceless. There is nothing in this world that anybody can buy you or give to you or say to you or do that will take the place of the importance of peace. So I ask you today, how are you taking care of your peace? Are you surrounding yourselves with dramatic people? With people that have a problem to every solution, that focus on problems, focus on negativity? Are you focusing on negativity? I caught myself within the last couple of days. I caught myself this whole new year. I'm like, the ball dropped. It's a whole new year. And I've been complaining. Thanking God and complaining. And I'm not trying, if I thank God and I complain, I'm kind of like negating, right? Because I'm saying positive, negative. So then, I'm kind of like evening them out. They're canceling each other out in a way. Yeah, there's things that have happened that were annoying and frustrating. But amidst all the annoying and frustrating and head-scratching, questionable moments and things that people did toward me or said toward me that I would never do or say, amidst all of that, God was blessing me. So how can I sit here and complain? I shouldn't. And what does complaining do? Now, I'm not saying don't stick up for what matters to you. Stick up for yourself. Stick up for what you believe in. Stick up for your family. Stick up for your business. Stick up for your team. I'm not saying don't stick up. I'm not saying don't speak up. I'm saying you can talk about what's bothering you, but see, my body has a physical way of telling me it's enough. I start talking about something that's going on. I did this yesterday. I was upset about something. And the more I talked about it, I could feel my stomach tensing up. I could feel myself I was making myself sick. I was making myself physically ailed. Just simply by talking about this stuff. Well, Dan, you should be able to talk. When we talk about stressful things, it stresses us out more. I'm not saying don't talk about your problems, but sometimes you talk about it to one friend and it's fine. And then you call your mom, you call your dad, you call another friend, you talk to a stranger, and all of a sudden you're short of breath, your stomach hurts, you don't want to eat anything, you got a headache, because there is a lot of truth to whatever you put your energy in is either going to suck the energy out of you or it's going to give you more energy. I put my energy into the Bible, I'm going to gain energy. I put my energy into praying, I'm going to gain more energy. I put my energy into God, I'm going to gain more energy. I put my energy to complaining and moaning and groaning, I'm going to feel lethargic and I'm going to feel like it's hard for me to move. You know, the stuff that was bothering me yesterday, when I talked about it, the more I talked about it and the more I got worked up about it, the more in pain I felt, the less healthy I felt, the more uncomfortable I felt, and that stuck with me. So, you know, I'm a living, breathing example right now this morning that you have to fight for your peace every day. And I tell people all the time, I will not date someone who destroys my peace. I will not befriend someone who destroys my peace. I will not work with a business that destroys my peace. I'm not about that life. There's no coach or player, how successful they are in this and that. If they're full of drama and they're a headache and I got to chase them down and I can't trust their word and I constantly feel like I'm just draining all my energy, begging to get no. Then let that go. You know, if I'm working with a business and every month I gotta just drive myself crazy to get paid, it's not worth it. See, businesses will find things out like that from me. You'll find out from me. I'll stop calling. You know, if there's a business tells me, hey, we're interested in working with you, and they just keep like, you know, beating around the bush, beating around and just taking and wasting and this and that, I don't chase you. I told a business owner before, I had called them and messaged them and called them, messaged nothing. They finally got in touch with me after I told them I'm not calling anymore. That's when they called. And we got on the phone. And they said, wow, you're a really hard person to get a hold of. You know what I said? It's kind of hard to get a hold of somebody when you don't call them back. See, I'm not in the business of chasing and begging and pleading and constantly asking, please, just, please. No, I'm not a beggar. I've been there, right? You're dating somebody, you got it, you know, everybody's got a girlfriend, you want to have a girlfriend, and she's doing this and that, and it's hurting you, and it's stressing you out, but you don't want to be single. So, oh, baby, please, and oh, baby, and oh, baby, baby, and oh, baby. And after a while, you look at yourself and you're like, man, you are a puddle. We've all been there. It ain't worth it. I had a friend where my dad said to me, he goes, do me a favor. Don't call him for 2 weeks and see what happens. The person never called me. He was like, you were always a better friend to them than they were to you. Like, you're the reason why you saw each other. You're the reason why you talked. You did all the work. What happens when you don't do the work? It's one of the hardest things in life to understand. That sometimes when you feel really off about a relationship, business, personal, you know, whatever it is, personal, professional, friend, romantic, family, job, whatever it is, to take a step back, calm down, and take a deep breath and watch what they do. And if they do nothing, that's your answer. There's a coach that, oh, I'm going to be on the show. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. After 3 months, 6 months of calling them, texting them, texting them, and hearing them this and that and da 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 da, I'm not calling you anymore. That's your loss. There's a million coaches that want to talk to me. If you don't, hey, baby, I ain't got to call you. So it's about that piece, right? Because if you keep doing things and you keep driving yourself nuts, what is that doing for you? What is calling that person over and over again that never calls you back? What is that doing for you? Besides upsetting your stomach, confusing you, and making you angry. Right? Some people will dangle a carrot every little bit, every once in a while, just to keep you there. Right? They won't answer, they won't answer, they won't answer, they won't answer. Then they'll say, what's up? Then they'll disappear and they won't answer and they won't answer. And you just say, what's up? And I don't know what it is in that person because I'm not that type of person. My guess is that they like the attention. They like to know that they have power over somebody else. It makes them feel like they have worth. You know, if they got enough people chasing them, it makes them feel special, like they're some hot commodity. But your peace is very, very crucial to your health. And if you don't take care of your peace, you got nothing. And I can promise you that from living it. I'm not saying don't go after things. I'm not saying don't try. And I'm not saying that everything works on the first shot. I'm saying that there are things you're going to learn in life, that there are roads that you have to push a little bit harder and you have to keep on it, keep after it. Like when I wanted the job on ESPN down in Orlando, you know, the general manager, I'll never forget, Colin Cantwell, he told me, I was like, man, I felt like I was stalking you. Like I felt like I was bugging you. I didn't like the fact that, you know, I'm calling every day or every other day or 3 times a day. And he's like, no. He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, if you didn't keep calling me and you didn't keep on me, he's like, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Like, if you didn't do that, you would have never gotten the job. So in some instances, it's good. But then there's other instances where it's like, in dating, if I talk to somebody and they disappear and a week goes by, I'm not reaching out to you. Right? So you kind of just have to gauge in life the relationships, because there's friends where, like, I have a friend where we may not talk for 5 years and then we could pick right up, right? There are friends like that. And there are people where you talk to them every day and then you stop calling and you don't ever hear from them. And then you say, okay, is this friendship really as strong as I think it is? You never know until you know. And you have to trust your gut. But your peace is such a valuable thing. And there's nothing that you can put in the place of your peace to replace it. You can't. You cannot simulate peace. And I have fought my whole life for it, that if you disrupt it, you're not being around that long. You won't be. You know, I do not have, my life is important to me. My time is important. I do not want to waste it in a place where I am constantly in chaos. And they say that God is not the God of chaos. If it comes to you chaotically, if it comes to you, you know, just kind of crazy and all over the place, and, you know, it's not from him. God is not the creator of chaos. So fight for your peace, attain your peace, keep your peace, and know that God will test you, and you have to hang true. Because we don't live, life is not this thing where, like, you achieve something and that's it. When you achieve it, now you got to keep it. Now you got to hold on to it. Right? You don't just get your foot in the door of peace. You have to fight for it every day. So, to my peace warriors out there, I pray thee well, because the price of peace is priceless. And you cannot put a dollar amount on how important it is to have peace in your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul. These are the ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicolli's. 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. Head there 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and drinks. They have the casual pizza side, the fine dining side, and the bar. You can also call them for catering, takeout, and delivery at 315-622-5100. And you can go online to myavicollis.com and order online. myavicollis.com. Thanks for being with us up and down the East Coast, Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Once we go live, we hop to the archives, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and more. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Make sure to download, subscribe, and follow us so you never miss a new episode getting added to our archives. Again, over 2,000 episodes on Podbean alone. Many thanks to our wonderful team in Central and Upstate New York. Not only do I support them, but I ask you to as well. Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel, DeWitt. I'll be getting my new Sunday here in January. You better stay tuned. I'm so excited. It already has a name. We already have the ingredients. We've already taken pictures. I've already tasted it. We've had other people taste it, just, totally impartial. Hey, in the moment, what do you think of this? Can't wait to unveil it. The Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, with a location on the countryside on 33 Rappleton Road out in Casanova, and in the Syracuse Inner Harbor at 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Pizza Man, Game Point Sports Complex, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my exclusive Central New York breakfast sandwich 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. The Cuse Mac Mother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Go and grab yourself one today. Big time thanks to Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Brian's Landing, Avicolli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. Come and see your Bobcats and what we call the Bobcat Buzz every single month with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining the show to tell the greater story of Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. Go to youtube.com / WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. The Bobcats are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time like today. And you'll find our Bearcats on youtube.com / WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com and go Bearcats. The Onondaga Community College Lasers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Lasers every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, bi-monthly on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, student athletes, coaches, administration, and more right here on Wake Up Call and what we call the Laser Lounge. Go to youtube.com / WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the OCC playlist. The Lasers are also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to OnondagaLasers.com and go Lasers. With that being said here on Wake Up Call, I want to thank Meghan Casey for joining us for this new edition of the Bearcat Breakroom and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University, which somehow, some way, time flies. We are about to end a full 2 years of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton. Literally feels like it started yesterday. Shout out to Meghan Casey. Congratulations on her new single game career high 23 points achieved in the team's first game in conference in the America East on the road at NJIT. We needed all of her 23 points to get that 75-71 win. And of course, we have a 9-5 record for Binghamton women's basketball as they go deeper into conference play. Big time thanks to Avicolli's for the ingredients to success. Thanks to the Great Lakes Honda City Studios for being amazing. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon.